What's going on, everybody? Respawn Gentleman here. So today I'm going to show you a complete guide on how to get through the Hunter's regular mission in Chapter 2. Let's get right to it. So first off, where you want to be on the map is right here in the garrison area, directly across from the Chapter 2 vendor. So you can see right here. I'll show you specifically in just a second. There's a white kind of marker on the wall you need to go to. We'll go to that in just a second, but I want to tell you about the things that you kind of need beforehand. So I would highly recommend having a very similar setup to what I have. I would recommend the toughness boosters, the regeneration boosters, the immunity booster, as well as the military med kits. The reason for this, especially the immunity booster, is there's a ton of plague bearers, and there's a chance that you could get caught in their clouds, which means your immunity is going to go down quickly. So it's a good, just in case your immunity ends up getting too low, it's a really good one to have. The toughness boosters and the regeneration boosters will help deal with the enemies at the bottom of the mission, which is super important. So definitely want to bring those, and then obviously the military med kit, just in case something happens and you don't have enough regeneration boosters. So that's kind of what I would say for the consumables. And for the accessories, what I would say to do this the easiest way possible without kind of needing too many other things, I would recommend using C4 and the DIY grenades, as well as some UV bars. Now, you only need to save the DIY grenades till the end, and I'll show you why here in just a minute. The remote C4 helps clear out rooms really quickly. And then the UV bar will help kind of protect you in certain situations, which I will show in a little bit as well. And then as far as the weapons go, I would say just grab whatever weapon you can get that is the highest damage. If you've got a 633 weapon, you know, whatever your favorite one is, take that. And I would highly recommend bringing a bow, especially if you already have the ballista bow unlocked, which I have a video linked in the description below if you want to check out all the details on the ballista bow. But I would highly recommend the ballista bow for the hag, because it literally destroys her extremely quickly. So any kind of bow, crossbow, ballista bow, just some kind of bow, as it's going to help you get through the ending much faster. I do also want to say that you do need to be at least rank 2 with Shen in order to do this, and then you just buy the tickets here. They cost 300 samples, so not much at all. And then again, where I showed you earlier on the map is directly across from here. We'll just jump across these boats, and then you can kind of see the markers on the wall if you don't fall in the water. But there's like a kind of a green one and a white one over here. The white one is the regular mission. Now again, the white mission gives you unlimited amount of time, so you can do this as many times as you want, as slowly as possible if you want to. If you want to jump through it as quickly as possible, it's kind of what I'm showing you with the tools I have. You can bring anything you have with you into the mission, and that's what makes this one kind of simple, just because you have unlimited time. So if you wanted to go through and kill all the enemies, you definitely could. So what I like to do, I like to start off using the regen booster and the toughness booster, just in case, because this top level there's always a volatile, and I want to actually equip this so I don't accidentally lock on enemies. And let's get the remote C4. So what we want to do is come out here on this very top level. There's only one room they could possibly be in, and that's this one right here. The rooms you're looking for, which I'll pause real quick just to kind of describe it. The rooms you're looking for are going to have UV bars in front of them. If you don't see a UV bar, then there's not going to be any enemies in that room, so you can completely bypass it. Now again, this is the only room that is on the first level, so if you don't see UV bars, you can jump down to the second level. Let's go in here, throw one of these guys out. Now granted, I'm using some stuff with the boosters that helped me survive that. If you do not have the boosters, you will die. Again, I didn't place that correctly. If you place it just right, you can actually kill all of them in like one hit. Now, one thing I do want to mention on here, can trip a lot of people up. Don't pay attention to the animation, pay attention to the actual search bar itself. So look, here's the animation, it's done. If you stop, guess what? You didn't actually pick it up. Do not stop holding the button when the animation ends. Just keep holding it down, and then bam, there you go. Just keep holding it until the search button is gone. That is very important. Now, since that's the only one up here, now we can jump downstairs, and there's about 3 or 4 you can go to. It would be this location here, but there's none there. This one right over here, but again, there's nothing there. This one over here, again, nothing. And then there's one more over here that could potentially have something right back here. And it does not. You would see them kind of standing there. So that means that the rest of them are all below us. So you want to come over to this door. You go down. There's other ways to get down, but I find this is the most consistent. I would highly recommend this is where you get your UV bar out, because right around this corner, there's always volatile. Now, I always come in here because there's a good chance that one of the renegades are going to be in this room, just like this. Throw it. And blow it up. So that should take out quite a bit of them. You can see I only have like one dude left now. So that's why the C4 is super important. You place it right, you can eliminate all of them at once. It's amazing. Let's search it again. Remember, hold it down until you actually collect it. Don't pay attention to the animation. So now just keep going this way. Now you can get around this if you kind of go the long way and you have to run past the volatile. So I wouldn't recommend it. So then you just kind of keep following what I'm doing. And then now we're going down to the bottom. So generally, and pause real quick, kind of talk about that a little bit, is basically, for the most part, now this is not always the case, but for the most part, I have seen where there are 2 rooms you access before jumping down the elevator, and then the other 3 are down in the bottom. I will say this is all completely random. The rooms are never the same. I mean, sometimes they are because it's random. There's only a few, but they're not generally the same. And there's a possibility that you could get all 5 rooms down into the elevator shaft. You could even get all 5 rooms up at the top level. It all varies. It's completely random, so you'd have to pay attention and look for those UV lights. And it's going to be especially important down here in the elevator shaft, which hopefully the video will show this, because sometimes, so notice whenever you look at the UV bars, you know, you've been playing the game, it's got this big kind of purple light you see everywhere. Sometimes when you're down here, it doesn't show the purple light, so you have to look for the actual bars itself. Now that I'm down here, I'm gonna go ahead and take another toughness booster just to top that off, and same thing with the regen booster, again just to top it off, just to make sure I've got enough. Now we first step out here, you can usually see there's one over there, so you see the purple light, so I can go to that, and then you can see if there's one over here. I don't see any, so I'm just gonna run this way and go straight to this one. Let's get in here. Again, keep your C4 active, and then just throw it at him. And this time it didn't work super well because, you know, a lot of them kind of ran away, but again, it's all about timing and placement. You can get it just right, and it is insane. You can get through this really quickly too by doing this, but it all just depends on placement and timing and things like that. But you can see, like, I got hit by the cloud and my immunity just kind of like shot down by a bunch. So you definitely want to be careful of that. That's why I recommend bringing the immunity boosters, just in case it gets too low. Now, there's only a few rooms on each side of this downtown, or down below the elevator shaft. So this is one of them. All of them will have kind of like a light coming out of them. So let's get to higher ground. I mean, not do that. So you can see that one, obviously. There's this one right here. You see the bright light coming out of it. That means that's another potential room. There's a bright light over here. That's another potential room. And there's, I think, usually about 5 or 6 on each side. So this is another potential room, but see, notice there's no UV bars. So there's no more on this side. So that means the other 2 are on the other side. One thing I also want to mention is down there where the red light is flashing, that is actually where the hag will spawn every single time. I'll show you that in just a minute. So let's get over to the other side. Really easy to do. You just need to find wherever the green lights are, and, you know, clear some enemies out of the way if they're in your way. But just look for the green lights, and then those are your ways to get across to the other side. Now over here, you can see, bam, there's UV lights right here. So let's go in here, throw some stuff. I'm gonna step outside. If I blow it up, take care of a big portion of the enemies. Now I've got like 1 dude left. So you can see how powerful that C4 really helps. It can clear out an entire room in just one, and it's amazing. So we'll grab this one, and then let's pop out. Now what we're going to look for, again, is look for the UV bars. So I don't see any over there. That's another room, but that doesn't have one. We're going to keep going around until we find one. Now let's go this way. We only have one more to find, and well, you can see it right there. So we got lucky this time. But there are some times where you do not see the purple light. You just see the white light coming out like from the other rooms. But you have to look specifically for the UV bars on the ground. So let's toss this in here. Hide behind this thing. Blow it up. There's a lot of times when you toss it and they see you, then they will start running at you. Which by the time they get to you, like, you'll be able to explode it and hit most of them at once. There we go, we collected that. I'm gonna go ahead and also top off again since I'm running back out there. Because you see there's like spitters and banshees and volatiles, not volatiles, virals and stuff. Like, there's a lot of things out there, kind of down there, where you can take a lot of damage. So having these is extremely beneficial. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to my DIY grenade because that's what we need next. Now again, we're gonna look for another green area, which there's one right here. So let's just drop down. Jump over here. Like I said before, this one spot is always the spot where the location for the hag is. So you can get here however you want, but just follow the markers. And this is why I took the boosters, so that way if they hit me, I don't take any damage. Now I also want to equip my ballista bow like I mentioned before because it's extremely helpful. So with the DIY grenades, you're going to be facing a ton of renegades in here. So I always start off by throwing a few of them in here. If you didn't bring any, there's actually a crate down in this room that does have them, which I will show off in just a second. So you can see the hag finally appeared. So the grenades are more to kind of keep them away from you while you're trying to get the hag. So she should be coming at you. But you do got to be careful because, like I said, there are a lot of enemies. But let me show you where the grenades are. So if you come over here, you can see, not this crate, it was the one back here. There are some DIY grenades right here, so you can pick some up if you don't already have them. So there's the hag. I prefer usually to stay inside the room, but sometimes it's better to kind of come out. Just depends. Using parkour shot helps out a lot because it slows her down and you can get her, like I said, this was 2 shots, but this is another thing. You get 600 mutation samples, 30 hunter bolts, 15 ballista bow arrows, you get some whiskey, canned food, like you get a bunch of things. Those are the things that you get every time you complete it, which is why if you look at my inventory, go to my backpack, and we'll see down here that, you know, I've got all these hunter's bolts. I've got 60 and 60 and 60 and then 8 because I used a bunch of them. But if you do this mission multiple times, you never have to buy arrows for the ballista bow or the hunter's crossbow because it is absolutely insane how many it gives you. Like, I mean, look at this. I already have right there, there's 188 arrows just from doing this. I've never bought the hunter's bolts at all. I have only done the regular mission to get them. And it's insane how much you can get just from, like, just doing this mission over and over again. So yeah, it's pretty crazy. I kind of took a little bit slower path through that just to kind of show you everything, but I will be having a guide coming out soon for the elite mission, which does have a predetermined loadout, which like you can see, that will be coming soon, so definitely stay tuned for that. Also, I did forget to mention that by completing the regular mission, it also goes towards your bounties. So if you have a bounty where you need to hunt the hags, you guarantee that just by completing the mission. So that's one way to do it. You can get your plague bearer bounties completed while doing that mission. You can get the hag track bounties while completing the mission because you get a guaranteed 5 hag tracks every time you go. So for like the weekly mission where you got 25 hag tracks, you can literally just do the mission 5 times and bam, there you go, you're done. And then with the plague bearers, you can definitely kill like 30 pretty much just in that mission. Like, if just one time, it may take 2 sometimes, but yeah, it's amazing. It'll help you complete the chapter 2 bounties extremely quickly because you can do all of them while in there, including the co-op bounties, because you can do this in co-op. But yeah, it's really nice that we have a way we can complete these and find hags a lot easier, which that's another guide that I'm gonna be working on how to get the hag tracks to spawn outside. and kind of that whole situation. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more Dying Light content, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.